into the room, and I knew I was doomed to fall for you. The moment I saw you smile, now everywhere you go, my eyes follow close, and I'm just waiting for the time to be right to tell you how I've loved you for a while. Oh, my heart is going wild. You wear me down like when the sea meets earth. I fade away just like the rocks have worn. Don't you see what you do to me? You keep crashing into me. I keep turning out to be something more than what I was before.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome. It is the return of Rufflebutt. So we're going to be working more on the ruffly butt of the Carousel horse. So yay! I am Kaya Ariana, or Kaya for short. And welcome to my stream. We are continuing working on cross stitch. We'll be working today, and looks like we're still going to be good for tomorrow. But yes, for the ruffle butt. We're going to be good for tomorrow, but I could cancel that one last minute depending on how the packing is going. I did pack down a couple more boxes today, and it is a giant box fort on the other side of and that direction. So, but before we continue, I do have a little bit of show and tell. I'm doing a couple of year-long mystery stitch-alongs, or SALs, and the one that I'm working on with Sarah Nadia and her Moonlight Meadows community is released on Monday, and I'm, well, not done. I have made progress, and I have done all the color here. I have 3 more colors left to do. Got some blue stripes in here, and then some yellow buttons for my dogs here. Our film noir 1930s, 1940s dogs. So, get my needle in there. So that's where I'm at, and then I'll be doing the back stitching. So you can see the 60s dogs, and then there's a little bit of the Victorian dog. So that's where I'm at. I was hoping to get the color done before my stream, but that didn't happen. So we're going to be working on that tomorrow and after stream. But here we are. We're going to be continuing more with the summer carousel horse. Here's my scissors. A little scatterbrained as we are getting ready for our move on Saturday. So I will be here today and probably tomorrow. And then after that, it's probably looking like a 2 to 2.5 week hiatus, depending on the move and how quickly we can get things set up. Because next weekend, I am going to be camping, which was planned before we moved. We're planning on moving. So that's coming up, and I will be out of touch and out in the middle of nowhere, which will be wonderful. So we're moving in here, and we're going to continue down. We got the ruffle done, and we're going to work here. I hadn't decided what color to work on yet because I kind of jumped into things. So looks like it's going to be a blend. So 501 and let's see, I just had it. 501 and 3051. So there's my 501. And 3051. So more green. Yay, green! Get a little bit out of those neutral colors that we can't see. So if everyone's having a good night tonight, I thank you guys all for joining me. Want a little bit of normalcy before this move coming up, because that really stresses me out. It messes with my anxiety. Hey Naka, welcome! It's Return of Rufflebutt tonight, because I think that's just the theme moving forward until we're done with the Rufflebutt, and then we'll have to figure out something else to joke about. Oh, wow, Naka, thank you for the bits. Ruffle butt. Yay, ruffle butt. Thank you. All the ruffle butt streams. Because that's where we're going. Be sad when we finish up the ruffle butt, then I'll know what else to say. Should have set up this color before I started, but bear with me. Just doing a blended color. So I blend 501 and 3051. I promise, Naka, the bot will be nice to you this time. I fixed the problem. So do have a couple commands for the bot. Exclamation point project will take you to a link of what I am currently working on. So if you want to buy the pattern, you'll be able to find it. Alright, so we're going to jump right on in. And work on some of the green. That's too far. That's not going to work. Oh, I hope. Let's see. Yeah, with the move coming up, my brain's a little scattered, so I do apologize in advance if I repeat things, manage not to keep my project in frame, you know, the usual, what are you doing? There we go. All right. How dare I be a person? I know. I'm sorry, Naka. I'm supposed to be this robot or something. I don't know. Oh, I have high expectations for myself, so when I don't meet them, I get angry at myself. So that's how it works for me. Though if you ever wanted to live in a box fort, I don't recommend it because there's not a lot of space. We have the most gigantic of box forts going on right now. Which is awesome. That means everything will be packed, and it will be... Our goal is to basically, the only things that we'll have to take down Saturday will be some of the paintings on the wall, some of the the hardware, holding up the TVs and stuff, the bed, and everything else will be in boxes. So yay, go us for being ahead on top of schedule, I guess. And how are you doing today, Naka? Were you able to cross stitch, or were your littles keeping you busy? I know they weren't feeling good. Oh, jeez. I don't know what. I think that's a 6. Wow, this is getting harder to read. I'm gonna need to get magnifying glass out here. Little's kept busy. Play a little pool this afternoon, which is awesome. Yay! When we took Annika in the pool for the first time, it was kind of cold, so she was very upset until she got used to the water. And then she liked it till she got cold again. Stitching in between Civilization 6 turns. Yeah, that sounds about right. I've totally stitched waiting for cues to pop in World of Warcraft. The last night I was playing, I could not get into a clean dungeon run. I got into 3 already started dungeon runs as a healer. I was like, come on, let me have a clean dungeon run. You working on the dogs through time tonight? Or are you back to the butterflies? Gotta get those puppers done. Oh, I think you missed it. I showed off where I was on the puppers. I'm not done yet, don't worry, but I have almost all the cross stitching done. Oh, looks like Cujo is posting a picture of the box fort. That sounded bad, Cujo. What happened? There we go. Wow, that was anticlimactic. That's like the easiest about to do with that color, so it looks like I'm switching colors again. Someone's not happy because she's not doing something that she's not supposed to do, and thus has been taken away from it, and now it's the end of the world. Alright, so we're gonna switch colors again. I got a leaf done. And since this is a blend, I'm going to put it on my project card, which I've now got stuck on everything. I really don't keep my space organized better in between streams. Alright, so, okay, 223, and gosh, 223 and 316, so it looks like we're moving into a pink. Two, 224, no, 223, and what color is 316 is one of the mouths. Looking for the right color. 317 is not the right color. 316. I'll put those in the box for now. Get back in the box. Close the box. My goal in the new place is to be better organized in terms of streaming so that I'm not running around like a crazy person trying to get my stuff together. Hi, Cujo. That in a little bit. Alright, so yay, I'm going to be getting more color. So I'm very excited to be moving out of the light beiges and the tans and the neutrals because I really enjoy pops of color. And now that we're actually going to be working with a little more color on the ruffle butt, it's gonna make me happy. There we go. right. So now we can actually start stitching again, now that I've got my floss separated. It's definitely part of the process, is separating floss, getting your needles ready. Not going to mystify any part of the cross-stitching project, just going to jump in and do it. Alright. Alrighty. Okay, here we go. And that's when you pull your needle all the way through and don't secure your tail, your floss. Then you can try it again. I've also been working on my fish stitch lately, so I've got some more of that done. I hope I can finish the page I'm on before the end of the month. I hit a bit of a stitch slump, and I just wasn't in the mood to stitch. Lots of stuff going on besides the move. So a lot of stuff going on, so I was distracted, and stitching usually is something I use to escape. I just couldn't focus enough to escape into stitching. So my off-stream projects kind of fell by the wayside, but I picked them back up again, and we'll be working on more of that, of course, off stream, and progress I will show on my Instagram, and of course on, if I happen to have it nearby, I'll show it on stream before I start, or in the middle if anyone wants to see anything. I do have my progress on dogs in time, and I do have the fish nearby in case anyone wants to see it. Everything else I'm working on is currently put away. We are getting ready for a move. Everything's starting to look kind of bare behind me. I'm going to probably take down the pictures tomorrow and everything, so we'll have a blank wall. Some of this is really hard to see what the symbols are. This particular chart is a hand-drawn chart, so it's hard to read some of the symbols, especially when they're in the partial stitches. So I'm just trying, so when I'm looking close, I'm looking at what it is to try to read it. So I guess it's more of a flowery ruffle butt, so it's both a flower butt and a ruffle butt. Double duty ruffle butt. You stay there. So what? Petals are like ruffles. Hey, Fatal! How you doing? Working on more ruffle butt here. We're into the flowery part of the ruffle butt. Actually getting to do a little bit of color finally. We've been doing so much of the neutrals that are hard to see on stream that I'm kind of excited to be moving into some color. So got some pink starting to go in there. Stuff with birthday pizza and downloading the expansion for WoW now. Woohoo! Welcome to the expansion. Hey Elf, yes, more ruffle butt. Oh, the ruffle butt. And trying to see exactly where we're going because it gets difficult here. Are you done with the dogs yet, Elf? get to start daycare tomorrow instead of 2 weeks. Oh, wow. But hey, that'll be better for your niece, right? Five hours of work to finish dogs. Okay. I guess since a lot more people are here, I will show it again. I am almost done with the color, or the cross stitches on the dogs. So I just have to do I have to do the yellow buttons and the blue stripes in the dog shirt, and then I'll be on to the back stitching. So yay, dogster time! You said that's why they got charged twice a week and they kicked him off probably. Wow. You guys are having a rough time with that daycare. Pardon me? Sounds like Annika might have taken a tiny little tumble and hit something, and my husband's telling her that the table is mean. It's okay. It's kind of cute. You're being cute, Cujo. I felt a knot. Oh well. It's no knot. It's not a knot. There we go. I'm really enjoying this color of pink. It is a blend of two colors. It's a blend of the where is the color again? It is a blend of 223 and 316. It's just this beautiful color, the two together. It's going to look really good against the gray of the Carousel horse and the neutrals of the ruffle butt. And there's even some of that color gets picked up right here in this blank spot that I have. You get a boost with the expansion, what do I boost? Especially since I only play two characters, already 110. Boost a horde character that you're not using? Unless you have one on both sides. I boosted a horde character because I didn't have one at 110, so I could unlock the allied races on the horde side. I thought about boosting the one on where Sarah and everyone is, but I'm like, no, I'm kind of having fun leveling that one, so I'm not going to boost that one. So I boosted a class that I always wanted to have at a high level, but never could get leveled. Alright. Yeah, I saved it for a bit. myself, you don't have to use it right away. It's there when you're ready for it. I've got to bring this chart up closer. I'm having problems reading it. Okay, I still can't tell what symbol that is. I'm going to guess, but since I have it close, I'm going to count. Okay. You should get back stitching now that you're relocated and fed. Yes, stitch. Join the stitch along. Like, well, you can stitch along even though we're not stitching. Yeah, you know what I mean. My brain is all over the place. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay. Yay, alright. I must be the only person I know who can catch their floss on things that they're not even stitching. You got, what did I do? Okay. Fix it. Bad box. Bring my chair a little closer. I'm really looking forward to getting actually into the horse's tail. Believe it or not, the way that the colors are kind of wrap itself around, it's going to add some really nice texture and color that I really can't wait to stitch. Alright, so there, okay. Two, three, okay. Do 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 do. Okay, and okay, just two. That should be, yeah, perfect. I love it when you count correctly and everything lines up the way it's supposed to. That makes me so happy. It means I'm counting right. Yay! Okay. Just trying to figure out where we're going next with this color. Working on some of the roses. I think they're roses, or whatever these flowers are. I eventually have to look at the pattern cover once I pack it down. You attack dogs completely differently than you attack cats. Where did you start on the dog stitch? Because I know you didn't start with the little border piece because it was a little mouse down at the bottom. Whereas with dogs, the dog paws lined up really nicely up at the top. How long do you think this will take you if you only work on stream? I'm not sure. I'd have to go. I think we're averaging about 2 hours-ish a stream. I think this is the 10th stream. And so I think we're about 18 hours into this. I'd like to work on it only on stream just because it's kind of a neat. I'm saving my VODs so that I have documentation of the process. Just I thought it would be neat. Once I move, I will be doing other things other than cross stitching on stream because I'll have my space and I'll have my setup. We'll see a couple other things. I'm going to be doing my silk banner painting. Some of that might be outside. I actually might move the stream outdoors if the weather's nice and there's not too much ambient noise, just for the space and the setup. We'll have to see how I get things set up. And then I've got some painting I'm going to do. Green Aussie, thank you for the sub. Oh my gosh, thank you. You are technically my first sub because I'm not counting Cujo. So thank you, welcome, yay! Welcome to the duck pond. Oh, the crazy ducks. Not. So wow, I'm a little speechless. Oh, Elf, you said you're starting with 664 and that's exactly where I started on that cross stitch. Yay! Hi, Green Aussie, welcome. Green Aussie is actually a friend of my husband's and I. Actually, my husband's best man. So, yay! Welcome to the stream. Well, since I have this thing about ducks, we all know that we need to talk about the ducks. When we move, I'm going to have my bookshelf behind me with all my entire duck collection, not just my rubber ducks. I have more than rubber ducks in my duck collection. And we'll be the duck pond. And I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do for my subs. Some people have leaves, others do paint chips, and they make a collage. I haven't decided what I'm going to do for my subs yet, so I'll figure that out. Maybe I'll buy little rubber duckies and like tiny rubber duckies, really tiny ones. I don't know. Then my husband would be really upset because we'd really have to talk about the ducks then. I totally lost where I was. I got so distracted. It's all good. It's all good. Good things. All good things. All good things. And as soon as my emote is approved, you can all enjoy the cuteness of it. It will be a surprise. Exactly what it is. Yeah, for affiliates, there's a waiting period once you submit your emote to whether Twitch will approve it or not. It takes averages a week. So we will see. I've completely lost my train of thought. Alpha's doing the same thing I did with the dogs. was talking about what I was doing on stream. I'm going to do more cross stitch. Going to do some silk painting. I'm going to do some manuscript style painting. Also intend to. I've got some Lego builds I want to do and have set up. So we'll probably do some Lego builds on stream. Gonna turn this more into a variety stream, and we'll still do a lot of cross stitch, but I do want to do other things. I do so much more than cross stitch, and I want to showcase that on my streams as well. Even do a little, maybe a gaming stream here and there. Cujo and I have an idea for a gaming stream, but that's gonna wait, and I think we're gonna save it for a surprise. I'll leave that up to him whether we break that news or not. Where did I go? Yeah, this chart in places is really difficult to read. And the squealing in the background, if this is your first time joining the stream, is my daughter. She is be 9 months old tomorrow, and she is nothing but chaos and trouble. I will be taking a break in about 20-30 minutes, depending on her, and we'll get her down for the night. And then it'll be a little quieter. And that's the other... The squealing isn't Cujo. That squealing was Cujo. I mean, I might be worried if Cujo was squealing for no apparent reason, but you know. But if anyone who's actually met my husband in person might just say, you know, that's just who he is. All right. Let me know how that timer works out, if the bot is doing too much, because I just want to. I'm playing with the bot for the first time, kind of trying it out, and I'm going to tweak it more as needed. Let's see, where are we going? Oh, that's even easier. I already have a landmark there. Oh, with the way I cross stitch, having landmarks makes it so much easier to find where you're going without having to do a lot of counting. So when I was like, oh yeah, I already stitched that color, that's where this goes. Alrighty. Do. Alrighty. Put your current progress in the Sal channel for... Okay, cool. Let's see. I'll check that out later. So, in case anyone is not familiar with what Elf's talking about, we are doing a year-long stitch-along with Sarah Nadia and her Moonlight Meadows community, and we are working on one, dogs or cats through time. And with that, the next part of the part 4 of it released on Monday. So we're all busily, some of us are busily stitching away so that we can keep going with other projects. Others are taking our time It's really neat how to see how everyone tackles the same project a different way. And that's the one thing I'm really enjoying about doing the stitch alongs with everyone, is that we all do the stitches differently. And if someone were to start the same project, I'm sure they wouldn't start exactly in the same place I did. They may start on the border, they may go that way. It'd be really neat to see how someone else tackles the same project. That's probably my favorite thing about the year-long stitch-alongs, or any stitch-along, is just seeing all the people working on it and how they're doing it differently from everybody else. But we're all ending up with the very same picture, which is cool because you get to see the thought process of people and what they do first. With the stitch-along, since they're such small pieces, I'll tend to do one color at a time and work through a color until I finish it completely before I move on to another color. Where with this project, because of how big it is and how difficult it is to stitch without landmarks, I'll stitch a color till I can't get somewhere easily without doing a lot of counting, and then I'll switch colors. Just so that it's a little easier to see where I'm going and not go crazy, or too crazy. I mean, I'm already kind of crazy. Pictures with variations, just fabric and color changes, yeah. Hey, Saren, welcome! And thank you for the host earlier, I appreciate it. And I don't mind if you are gonna lurk around. I mean, I've lurked through plenty of your streams, so I can't engage with the conversation for whatever reason, and that's okay. It's just great to have everyone here and just hanging out, working on whatever everyone's working on. And yeah, I agree, Elf. Seeing, where we've made either color change choices or see what kind of fabric everyone's using on the stitch-alongs is really fun. Like, your fabric is absolutely gorgeous. It's you hand-dyed your own fabric, right? Because I love the blue-green. It looks really pretty against the color palette. That's one thing that I haven't gotten into myself, is doing my own overdying on my fabric. That's one more thing I don't need to get into. It doesn't look like it's too difficult to do, but if I were to ask Cujo, hey, could I pick up another hobby, Cujo? He says no. So looks like I will be hitting Naka up if I want some hand-dyed fabrics. Because I don't think Naka would disagree with that. My day was pretty good today. I got some more packing done. Got 3 boxes packed down. I got the contents of the shelf above me packed down. And I got the bookshelf in the bedroom packed. I got to do the top of my dresser. The streaming stuff needs to be packed, which won't get packed till Friday, because I still would like to stream tomorrow. It's going to depend on my stress level. If my anxiety and stress is through the roof, I may not have a mindset to stream. It's going to really depend. So I'll be playing that by ear tomorrow. Naka, yes, I get to dye more. Yeah, Cujo says I cannot pick up another hobby, so if I want hand-dyed fabric, that means I have to buy it, and I might as well help out my friends. I think Cujo can get behind that. I do really like the blue fabric that you dyed. It's really pretty. Yeah. Makes me wish that I hadn't bought what I did for the mermaid, but I think the color palette for the mermaid wouldn't do well on the blue. So I think that the more neutral gray or the neutral marble. Wow, I cannot speak today. Will be better for the mermaid, but definitely gives me ideas for other things. It's a shame I don't have a project that I could easily work on the blue. Maybe I'll have to find a project. I've got a few patterns I can look at. I do not need to start another project yet. I do not need to start another project yet. With the exception of the summer stitch, my goal is not to start another project until the fish are done. The question is whether I can do that or not. Cujo, let me know if she gets to the point where she's gonna need to go to bed. Okay. Alright. Unless we find another Sal. No, no more Sals. I have two that I'm not stitching that I have patterns for. No more Sals. No. I don't need another stitch along. Another stitch along, and I don't need another project. I've got enough. I want some cross fingers. I mentioned the job at your mom's work. The HR manager said I'd be qualified for it. It posts on Friday, and that he'll put my resume if mom tells him I apply. He'll pull your resume if your mom tells him you applied. It pays $57K a year, and this is $20K than more than what everyone else is telling me. Oh, that was awesome. Got my fingers crossed for you, Elf. I hope that hope that they will interview you and they will take you, because that would be awesome. You need a good break. You've had some rough looking for new work. Yeah. I agree with you. This is huge. So my fingers are crossed and all the good vibes your way, and I hope that you get it. You shouting out Green Aussie Cujo? Green Aussie is my... I am not counting you, Cujo, because you're my husband and I love you, but Green Aussie is my first subscriber other than my husband. So yay, I have a sub! I feel a little scatterbrained tonight, so if I'm going off on weird tangents, feel free to rein me back in. And thank you, Cujo, for the bits, for the puppy bits. Yay, puppy bits. How's the text on that? Is that a little better? Yes, it's gonna be tiny Cujo. I could make it bigger, and I can put it all right here, and just like alert, giant alert. My husband is my biggest critic, but I still love him. All right, so there's nothing else easy here in this color to count to, but it does pick up over here, so we're gonna do a little of that over here. Is he at least biggest fan too? I'd like to think that Cujo's my biggest fan. I'm his biggest fan. He's also my IT guy, so when we have problems with anything IT related, he can fix it because he's kind of awesome. Because Cujo can fix all the things. The biggest critic isn't a bad thing, no. I agree. He wants me to do well, and he wants things to look good. So yeah, he helped me set up everything with getting my OBS running and all of that. Big news, you reached the edge of the Pegasus page. Oh my goodness, yay! So Sarah Nadia is working on Pegasus, also by Teresa Wentzler, who is the same artist who designed the one I'm working on. And if you are looking for Teresa Wentzler's work, I'm going to link you to what I'm working on. But patternsonline.com. This will take you to the summer carousel horse, but this is where you can find Teresa Wentzler's patterns. Not all of most of her patterns are available online, but not all of them. So that's where you can find the ones that are available online. You'd rather stitch mine, yeah. I was looking at the Pegasus going, oh, that's really cool. No, green confetti. All the green confetti. So much green confetti. No, no more green confetti. Yeah. And now, if the little bit of green kind of got to me with the goose, I'd be like, no, I can't do Pegasus. It's going to look gorgeous when it's done, though. And it's going to be worth it. What we need to do is a hated project swap, and then we send them all back to the original owner on completion. Are you looking for a way to get away from your Eagle's Destiny or whatever it's called, Elf? And I'm not completely hating my Ocelot. Just think of how sweet the reward of stitching the white of Pegasus is going to be when you get to that point. Yeah, the ocelot one isn't too bad. It's just I'm kind of tired of all. I can work on it for a little bit, and then I get tired of all the oranges and the browns. And I think what it really comes down to is not the color. Oh, what did I do here? That's not gonna work. Let's try that again. I think it comes down to not the color so much as the pattern itself. It's not very easy to read. It's all black and white, and I'm having problems keeping track of where I am. Possibly because I don't highlight my patterns, so that's my own fault. Because I'm crazy like that. So lesson learned, if I ever do a large pattern, I will probably try to make sure I highlight what I do so that I don't get lost. So far I'm doing okay on this one. I'm not getting lost. And I do have a working copy that I can highlight, but I haven't been highlighting it. Sounds like we're each stuck on a project. Yeah. I For a while, believe it or not, my my wizard and dragon one that I have done was one of those stuck projects. It just I couldn't get into doing it. I So it became one of those stuck projects. And eventually you finish your stuck projects and you feel better that you don't have anything, that old in progress anymore. So yeah, for me, once I get the ocelot done, I will feel better. It is definitely my oldest whip. So once it is complete, it'll be like, yay! So yeah, the ocelot is the oldest work in progress, and after that, it is just stuff I started this year. So yay! Let's see how long I can stay on top of my works in progress. Your completed horse piece. You got stuck on completed horse piece for over a decade. Yeah, the wizard I got stuck on. I get stuck on the dimensions kits pretty easily because I just get to a point where I get bored with them. Even if they've got a lot of fun colors or whatnot, it's hard to say. And then you're in a completely different mindset from when you started it. So it's definitely an interesting learning process I found for me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Excellent. When you finish this Pegasus, you started in 2003, your oldest whip will be your pet memorial. But that one doesn't seem like that's too bad of a whip to have in progress for a while. Yeah, the ocelot I started in 2015, so that is my oldest work in progress. Everything else was started in 2018. And we'll see how long I can keep up that steam to keep my works in progress under wraps and moving forward. You picked up the Eagle's Majesty in 2017, and your mom started before that, so it's your oldest work in progress. Yeah, looks like we're all doing pretty good. credit all your finishes since 2016 to your stream, though. Wolves, Buddha, the Celestial, and the Celestial Dragon were all finished since streaming. I credit a lot of my finishes indirectly to my husband. When I living with him, I was getting back into cross stitching because would work on stuff for a month or so and then I'd put it aside, and just I got that hair up my butt and I was like, I've got to finish this stuff, and I just sat down and I started finishing stuff. Viewers are amazing motivation. I finished 2 whips that were a decade old, late 2016, 2017, horses and Fall Fairy. Oh, you too, Megazord. Have a good night. Have a safe drive home, or however you get there. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Yeah, I couldn't justify starting a bunch of new cross-stitch projects when I had so many in progress. And that was the year that my Facebook kind of exploded. Like every 6 weeks or less, I was finishing a project because they were that close to completion when I put them aside. So that was kind of neat to say, okay, now I finished this one, and now I finished this one, and now I finished this one. Seems like 2016, 2017 was a great year for finishes. I did a lot of my finishes probably in 2015. Is when I got a lot of my finishes done. Because I finished up a bunch before I got married, and I got married in 2016. And then I did a lot of cross-stitching through 2017 while I was pregnant with my daughter because I couldn't do much else. So I cross-stitched up a storm. Yeah, if the Fall Fairy is anything like the Woodland Enchantress, I can imagine, because we're alright. So we're gonna do another blended color. Same line, different season, basically. Yeah, I agree with you there. I've looked at it and have almost picked the kit up like 3 or 4 times, and I've put it down. And I'm probably glad that I've done that, because I'm at the point where I really don't want to do another kit. I've got 2 kits that are sitting, and those will probably some ones that I pick up. I've got a really cute tea themed one and a dragon one, of course, because I look at all the dragons. You just look at your scroll bars, thought, I gotta get these done before they get wrecked accidentally. Then I learned about Q snaps too. Yeah, a lot of my stuff was stored away and like in my my cross stitch bag. So I had a lot of stuff that was just put away and put aside. So everything was all safe. And I had nothing on scroll bars, so I'd finished that project. And this was all, yeah, I didn't discover Q-snaps until this year. I was still using hoops, not really using scroll bars. I don't have a scroll bar stand, so it's kind of awkward. And I was having tension issues on the sides where the scrolls weren't, but now I realize that you could just binder clip and be fine. And I was like, why didn't I ever think of that? So still have my scroll bars. They're actually over here somewhere back behind me, because that was a good place to put them. But I am glad I discovered the Q-snap. It is a great tension device for cross-stitching, because I like to have the tension on my fabric. Come on, this is going to be really long, but that's okay. Promo scroll bars wasn't even the side tension, it was the tension in general. The scrolls would always unroll no matter how tightly I fastened them. Yeah, I've had problems with that. I've used it mainly for beading. I bought my scroll bars specifically for the Celestial Dragon, because I looked at it and went, I don't know how I'm going to bead that with a hoop. So I bought when I got to the beading, I bought the scroll bars, and that was when I stopped traveling with it. I'll travel with my cross stitch projects until there's beadwork, and then I don't travel with them anymore because beadwork on the road doesn't work. It's frustrating having to fiddle with them all the time. It may have contributed to putting them aside too. Yeah, I can see that. I think it would be better if they were on a stand. I don't know. Don't really have the space for a stand for that kind of work. But who knows? Maybe someday when all I do is cross stitch. But I'm really liking the Q-snap. And I'm thinking the 11 by 11 is as big as I want to go. I do think I will get a 17 by 17 eventually, just so I can go to 17 by 17 or 11 by 17. Because I think for some things, I think beading on a 17 by 17 might be really nice. Picture's heading in a car. I'm beading in a car. Nope, nope, nope. Yeah, no. All of I will keep my beads with my project just so I know where they are, but I won't bead until I'm to a point where I'm going to be in a place where the beads aren't going to get everywhere. Because beads... Luckily, I don't have any projects anytime soon with beads in them. I'm at a point where beadwork is probably going to fall on the wayside because of the baby. I did have one project I was finishing up with her that had beadwork, and that was really difficult to find time to work on it. Basically had to do beadwork while she was napping. So we'll stay away from beadwork for a while. Not opposed to metallic threads. Even reluctantly, we'll use blending filament. Luckily, this project, it does call for blending filament, but doesn't seem to call for too much blending filament. So I can live with that. So this is another blended color, working on these flowers. I think they're supposed to be roses. I can't really tell in the chart, and it is such a tiny work in progress in the corner on my screen that I can't even tell what they are. You want to finish the Pokemon, then you'll probably throw in the ship pattern you've got, which has beads, then back to Eagle's Majesty so you can get whips down and go with going back to work. Yeah. And that was another thing when I was, with work and everything, I wanted my works in progress low, so it was easier to do that. Luckily, even though I feel like I have so many in progress, because I haven't had this many in progress in a while, I feel like they're under control, whereas before it was like, oh, I have this work in progress, and I have this work in progress, and I have this one over here, but I wasn't touching them, I wasn't working on them, and now I'm actually working on all my works in progress. This one I'm working on stream, so I have a dedicated time that I'm working on the Carousel horse. The Into the Jungle stitch along and the Dogs Through Time stitch along I work on when the release happens, and those get caught up to wherever they're supposed to be at that time. I'm working on my fish, which I tend to take with me, and I work on it everywhere I can. I've got the smaller stitch that I work on when I'm in a place where it's hard to work on something even as big as the fish. I know I'm missing one, so I've got fish, this one, two stitch alongs, small stitch, ocelots at home only, and I usually, probably after the move, I'll work on that when I'm sitting at home on the couch and just trying to get things done. And then I've got the Spring Garden stitch, which the second half of the pattern releases at the end of this month, and I'll probably, once I finish the page for the fish, I will jump back into that one. You're debating adding blending filament to Pegasus on the edges of the wing's main head to give the sun and the meadow effect. Still thinking about it though. Yeah, it's like, do you really want the headache of blending filament after all that headache of green confetti? Is kind of what it comes down to. It's weird. I don't tend to over embellish myself. I kind of like, well, this is what the artist intended, and I kind of want to do what the artist intended. I go back and forth on how I feel about that, though. So, it depends. I need to figure out the summer style, though. I'm not going to rush into buying patterns, so I might have to make one or go with a pattern I got in a magazine. Yeah, I found the one I really liked, and for me, it's going to be a bit of a challenge because it's going to use some specialty stitches I've never used before. So for me, I was looking for something that was going to expand my skill. Not too worried about the actually putting together of the biscornu. I think that's definitely within my skill set. But the specialty stitches and the one that I'm going to be doing was what interested me the most. Because other than with cross stitching, the only stitches I've ever done are the cross stitch and all the variations of that. So the half cross stitch, the 3/4 dot cross stitch. Oh, have a good night, Fatale. Take care of the baby. But yeah, then half, 3/4, even some quarter cross stitches. I've back stitched and long stitched. I've done French knots. I'm comfortable. I don't like doing French knots, but I am comfortable and confident in my ability to do French knots. I've got a knot on the back of my fabric. And I've done the lazy daisy stitch, which is just a variation on a chain stitch. So I've done those stitches before. But doing some of the specialty stitches are what really have interested me. Speak of knot, and knot happens. Yeah, it's a stupid knot. But hey, I worked out the knot. It's fine. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, and this one actually doesn't have any French knots. It's just back stitching, so that's kind of exciting. Alright, that's what I thought. Cujo's giving me the signal. I'm going to take my break so I can take care of the baby, and then I will be back. So where did I put my mouse? There's my mouse. Alright guys, Cujo, I'm going to take care of the baby, and then I will be back. All right, I'm back. I'm just gonna catch up on chat here first. Okay. All right, so Naka's looking forward to doing the specialty stitches, and we're going on a Joanne's trip. Yay, Joanne's! Hey, hey Zix, how you doing? Just got back from my break. Had to take care of the baby. Starbucks. Yeah, Starbucks. If you sign up for Starbucks' rewards, you get a free drink around your birthday. Oh, well, happy early birthday, Elf. Yeah, it's like only good. I think you can use it like till like either the day before. It's weird. I saw it. I'm like, oh man, I used to be able to use it the entire month of my birthday just once. You could only use it once, but now sometimes I can't make it to Starbucks on my birthday. Well, that's no fun. You gonna take Keisha out? Oh, did she wake up? Thought I had the baby down. So Zix, what are you working on? Are you working on? You're doing the Eevee Heaven and Earth designs, right? Aiden hasn't slept through the night in a week now. Come on, dude. Oh, poor Naka. Yeah, when the Starbucks first started their rewards program, you'd get a postcard that would be good for a month for your reward. And now they do everything on the card, and then it would be they'd add the reward just right before your birthday, and it'd be good for like 2 days. I think this when my birthday was in January, I think it was good for 2 days tops. And now I've got another knot. It's not. This is not how it's supposed to work. I think I used my free coffee the other day. I go to Starbucks frequently enough that I earn free coffees pretty frequently. Alright, so we're moving on over here. And by here, I mean right here. Doing some flowers on my ruffle butt. like the other pink I was using more. This one is not as vibrant. But Teresa Wentzler's palettes aren't super vibrant. They're always a little bit muted. If you want more vibrant colors, I wouldn't recommend this artist's color palettes. Major props to you for being able to keep your place and count while streaming. I'm finding it a very difficult thing to do. I don't know how I'm doing it, I'll be honest. I lose my place so much. I've got some landmarks established now, so that's making it work a little better. I also don't mark my pattern as I go, so I'm kind of really crazy. Or maybe it's witchcraft, I don't know. I wish I had some advice on how I do it. I also have a little bit of, I've never been diagnosed, but I probably have ADD or ADHD. So for me, this is a focus thing. This is my fidget. So while I'm cross-stitching, this has become a fidget and I can focus. And that might be the only way it works for me. But yeah, I don't mark my patterns. I don't have any advice on how to make that work. I wish I could help. Yeah, that's going to be the tough one with taking the close to 2.5 to 3 week break, depending on how quickly things get set up, is going to be picking up where I left off. I'm going to make sure that whatever I do, that I do finish off the color I'm on or something, so that I can put everything away so it's a fresh start. Use that in quotations, start. When I come back, that way I'm not too lost. Advice, be Kaya. No, don't be me. Being me comes with a whole slew of other weird stuff. No, always be yourself. Unless you can be Batman, then be Batman. Don't be Kaya. Or a unicorn or something, yeah. No, I'm admiring those of you who are working on the Heaven and Earth design EVs on stream, because that, I don't know if I could do that on stream. If you're sure you left a thread hanging on Eagle's Majesty, you're going to be so lost when you pick it up. Yeah, I can understand that. Okay, so... You get lost after a thread hanging for a day. I usually do okay with that. I mean, I know I've got threads hanging on my ocelot. I've got a thread hanging on my fish. And I currently don't have any threads hanging on the dogs, so yay! Your foobar needleminder elf for the Eagle's Majesty. I need to get more needle minders. I'd like to get at least one more so I can leave one on my stream project and have the other with my other projects. Probably need a rubber ducky needle minder. You do need that. Yes, I do need a rubber ducky needle minder, just because it goes with the whole duck thing. I've got my duck, what is this thing called? Grime guard, and all that good stuff, so I need a duck needle minder. Let's see. You could even get one that says we need to talk about the ducks. Yes. I'm just gonna have to link that video somewhere that people can get to easily. Maybe I'll make that a a bot command to send people off to the YouTube link, so they understand why we need to talk about the ducks. Then I'm gonna have to start posting pictures of my ducks doing silly things, and taking over bathrooms, and yeah, that's the that we need to talk about the ducks by James Veach. How he tortures his flatmates with some rubber ducks is has been linked on my Facebook wall so many times. Can I keep one duck? I like the no more little rubber ducks, or no more little ducks. And then he has like 5 big ducks. Yes, so James Veach, we need to talk about the ducks and laugh in all its glory. The box of rubber ducks that my husband packed down all my rubber ducks, because they're just rubber ducks. Just throw them in a box. That's fine. They're not going to break. They're not fragile. And the box is labeled, "We need to talk about the ducks." And believe it or not all of my rubber ducks are in that box. There were a couple in other places. So I had a couple on the shelf here, and that I found when I packed down the shelf. Thank you. Now you have the rubber ducky song stuck in your head for days, I'm sure. I could get another song stuck in your head. It's the one song that never gets stuck in mine. It's a little tune written by the Sherman Brothers. It's about a small world. I worked It's a Small World for many, many years, and that's why that song does not get stuck in my head. So yeah, people will go, "Oh, but the song gets stuck in your head." Nope. What song? I don't even hear it anymore. I have no clue what you're talking about. Now, however, I do have the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse song stuck in my head thanks to my daughter. And the hot dog ending song of the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse stuck in my head. So that's where I'm at. The joys of having a small child. Yeah, I took Annika to Disneyland, and just to get her out of the house, and the characters scare her. So we're watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse so that she knows who these things are and isn't as scared of them anymore. Oh yeah. Yeah, the new one's just not the same. But it's been stuck in my head for like 2 days now. Oh yeah, the original Mickey Mouse Club was great. Even though the reboot they had in the 90s wasn't so bad, but Sorry, I'm gonna text from my mom. Sorry. So, just to kind of clue people into what's been going on, my grandparents both recently passed away. So we're having a memorial in July to celebrate their life in where they met and lived for many years in Seattle, Washington. And my mom is reminding me that we'll need to pack jackets and umbrellas for Seattle. And I'm like, I know. So, it's all good. Oh, thank you, Zix. I'm actually doing much better than I have been. It's been kind of overwhelming all at once. My grandmother's health wasn't very good and had been failing for a while. So while it wasn't unexpected, it wasn't easy. And my grandfather had been ready for many years, but he always wanted to make sure my grandmother was okay. So he then followed her. So yeah, definitely much better than I have been. Streaming has actually helped it give me conversation and has forced me to cross stitch. Part of why I haven't been cross stitching as much off stream, I just wasn't in it. The Dogs Through Time release really helped. Forcing myself to stitch on stream because I wanted to stitch. Yeah, it's been really hard here for Kaya. But so doing all this is good, and I'm really enjoying it. Oh no! And attacking with hugs. It's all good. Yeah. So I get to go to Seattle this summer. I haven't been to Seattle since before I started high school, so it's been 20 years since I've been to Seattle. And so while we're up there, we're flying out late on a Saturday, and there's an SCA event in Seattle the day that we're flying out. So what are we doing? We're going to the SCA event before we fly home after the memorial and all that. Yeah, because we're those geeks. Thank you guys. You guys are all awesome. Hey, I think we're all geeks. And actually, the reason the stream hiatus is going to be almost closer to 2.5 weeks as opposed to just a week and a half is because of an SCA event, because I'm going to war. What I mean by going to war, I mean camping and... Quiche, I'm looking at you. Sorry, the dog is looking at the trash. Quiche, come here. Come here, Quiche. She's like, nope, not going over there, Mom. Not going on stream. Dog's like, nope. Come here, Quiche. Come here. Come see Mom. Come here. Nope, she's not going to come say hi. She's looking at me like I'm a crazy person. So, maybe depending on how the setup is in the new place, we'll get the dog. Why did I do it? That's not supposed to be a 3/4 stitch. That's supposed to be a full stitch. She doesn't understand why you talk the weird box. She's a dog. She doesn't understand a lot of things. But she's a good dog. She's really going to hate the new place, though. She doesn't really quite get stairs, and her experience with stairs have been kind of traumatic for her because it was dark, and one night it was raining, and it's the kind of stairs that you can see through, and yeah, my poor husband had to fireman carry the dog up the stairs. But yeah, and the condo we're moving into has all the stairs, and the dog is going to probably at some point decide that she's going to live in the foyer, and that's just where she's going to live. You just totally scared your cat today. I was lying in bed after a nap and went to pet her, and she about ended up on the ceiling. Oh, poor silly kitty. Yeah, Quiche is a greyhound. She's a retired racing dog, and she's 7, so she's an older dog, but she's still a really good doggo. And I think she's a little worried about everything that's been going on because the packing and everything, and the house doesn't look the way it's supposed to. And so I think she's just a little weirded out. I don't blame her. It's stressful for humans, so I can't imagine only how stressful it is for dogs. But she'll be fine. Unfortunately, she won't get a long time to settle in the new place because we'll move in this weekend. We'll be there for 3 days, and then we'll be going camping. So it's gonna be quite the adventure. And that's all I can do in that section, so we'll clip and move. Though in packing everything, I found my beeswax. Not that I was really looking for the beeswax, but I do have beeswax now if anyone needs beeswax. I have so much of it. I keep getting gifted beeswax. It's like, I don't really use it, but thanks. Thanks anyway. There we go. Really? There's nothing that... Oh, way over there. Well, we're gonna do it this way then. I don't know. I've never used beeswax with cross stitching because I don't think I want that film um, on my stuff. I've used beeswax for other stuff. I've used it with like sewing thread, just sewing on stuff, but I've never used it with embroidery thread. And when I was making my own oboe reeds back when I was actually playing oboe, I used beeswax on the thread I was using to wrap the reeds, but I haven't really used it a whole lot since. What letter is that? Oh, did I miss some K's? I think I missed some K's. Hard to say. These are really hard to read, so some ways it's a guess. The Adventures in Charts. Hate when you drop your needle. No, no, no. No, no, no. No, no, no. Don't do that. No. I got myself a knot. Fixed it. Yes, I agree with you there, Elf, that the has the pattern with the backstitching without, because that's part of the problem with this chart is that the backstitching lines are here. The other problem is it's hand drawn, and in the little 3/4 stitch marks, you're like, what symbol is that? I think that's is that a K, or is that could be a pound sign, or I don't know. I will have to figure that out later. I also like with the pattern that it does have a black and white chart and a color chart. So if you, which is nice for if you can't print your chart in color, you can still do it. Or if the color chart's harder to read. The Dogs Through Time chart's not too bad to read. I really still like the way the other project I just finished was a goose project. It's in my slideshow somewhere. I don't remember. I have it on random just to make it interesting, so I don't know where it is. It'll pop up eventually. But the chart for that goose stitch was really a lot of fun to do. It was really easy to read, and it was I didn't have a lot of problems with it, where some, like the chart that I'm working from now, is like I can't tell what half these symbols are sometimes. Which makes for an adventure in stitching in its own right. Do you have the same problem with Pegasus, Saren? Reading some of the symbols? Yeah, that's where I'm having some of the same problems too with the handwritten symbols. Which makes you so thankful that there are computer charting software now that people can use so that we don't have to have these. Can you imagine creating this type of thing by hand? And sorry I have a delay here on your net. It's windy and bad today. Oh, that's fine, Sarah. Don't worry about it. I know that your internet is sometimes exciting. And say exciting is probably the nice way to put it. Let's see, 1, 2, down 1. 1 and 2, down 1. I would guess they would have to have samples of all the colors and everything. I'm trying to figure out what blends, and yeah. Yeah, this particular one has quite a few blends. Not too many, though. But so far, all the greens I've used have been a blend. All the pinks have been a blend. Still best to have samples as monitors, all displayed differently. Yes. Mr. Dog is done. My Mr. Dog needs stripes on his shirt, and then he will be done. And Mrs. Dog needs buttons on her dress, and she'll be done. Someday I will own the entire line of DMC. Takes out a fresh page, start stitching. Yay! Get that carousel horse going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turning into a Teresa Wentzler kind of night. Yeah, I've been looking at this going, oh, I want to work on the carousel horse. No, I'm saving it for stream. Oh, but I want to work on the carousel horse. No, I'm saving it for stream. You have to color card with sample DMC for that reason. I recolored the entire pattern because what I stitched wasn't what the original image was. Oh yeah. Can you imagine test stitching some of these things too to see if how how long it would take to test stitch this? Because someone stitched the sample. Color cards organized in a color wheel rather than the number. That's neat. Yeah, I organize my floss by color number so I can find it not by color. Just otherwise I could never find all the colors because the way DMC jumps around sometimes with their numbers, it's like, how did I go from this color to this color? And even in my stitch journal, I put them in the color number instead of in like the color families. So, because in my brain, that's what it needs to be. Okay. Everything else in this color in this section requires more counting than I want to do. So we're going to pick it up a little bit over here before we switch colors. I found a stitch I missed. Oh, yeah, I've been looking at the card myself, and I'm definitely thinking I'm going to have to get one. Yeah, I just redid my DMC spreadsheet. I have a spreadsheet that catalogs what I have, and I have it set up where I mark what colors I have, but I also have different letters for different projects so that I know that, oh, I thought I had that color. Oh, I do. It's this project. Okay, should I buy another skein or should I borrow from that project kind of thing? have samples every color. Yeah, that's definitely worth it. $25. Yeah, samples all, including all the light effects. It really bothers me that DMC doesn't make all of their light effects colors available individually. Luckily, I haven't ever actually used DMC Light Effects colors. I've used their color variations, which was kind of fun for the first time I used those, but not any of the light effects. And after Naka complaining about the DMC E5200, I think I don't really want to use that color. You just have all the colors. Well, we'll just go to Naka's house and borrow the colors we need. Actually, I have quite a few things of Krennic as well. It was 2017 gold to fill out my DMC, and I did pretty good with it. Do you want to get shanked? Because that's how you get shanked. Oh, but Naka, you love me. No, I wouldn't take your DMC. I'm not that kind of person. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go all that way to borrow Naka's DMC just to get shanked. Because, it's awfully far. There we go, moving through the pink there. Alright. We have all the main 48 to 125 variegated. Most of the variations, but none of the light effects. I don't have the money to get those right now. Yeah, I don't have any. I've got I don't have any of the variegated. I do have some of the color variations because they were actually used in a pattern. I did the Phoenix used a couple colors. Father, Sun, and Mother Moon used a couple colors of the color variations, and those were a lot of fun. So, I'm trying to... Yeah, I was looking at where my color goes in my floss card. Gotta keep my blended colors organized. So where are we going next? Looks like you. What is you? You is not a blended color for... Wow. Yay, not a blended color. But I've got to find... Here it is. Put things into box. using some light pink. The trailer for your bike arrived today. It's perfect. Be able to take the kids to the park this summer. Yay! Yay, taking kids to the park. Yay, bikes. Yeah, I have to figure out where the closest park is to us. Right now, I could easily walk to the park, but with the move, we won't be able that close to the park anymore. So we'll have to see which one is closer. Yes, yay, not being confined to the park, to the house in the yard. That's very important. Just load the kids up, strap them in, and take them to the park. Yeah, Annika really likes the swings. Took Amy for a quick ride up another road. She loved it. Yay! Yeah, Annika really liked the swings when we took her for the first time. She was giggling very happily. So I moved on to a light pink. I'm working on these flowers. Getting things established with the ruffle butt. Kara loves slides. The time she was 18 months old, she was going down the slides by herself. Yay! Yeah, we haven't really done much with the slide because she wasn't quite big enough to make it work yet. But the swing, she was all about the swing. I think I missed some. Or is that what color is that color? Well, we'll do it the other color because I can't tell what color it's supposed to be. So I think I'm going to get as far as I can with this color, and then I will call it a night. It's not too late, but I do want to get some sleep, so I'm rested for this weekend. We go Friday to pick up the keys, and I still got some more packing to do. It's super exciting and super nerve-wracking, but I'll have a better space to stream, and I'll be able to close the door so we'll have less baby noise. Not that I know no one really minds the baby noise, but sometimes it can be ear piercing and distracting. It's that Cujo dude that we mind. You know, Naka, we're kind of stuck with him. I can't get rid of him. I mean, I do love him. I know. He's super helpful at stuff though. Like he watches the baby while I get to stream, and then I take my break, and then he takes the baby for a walk to make sure she goes to sleep. He's kind of amazing. And he knows how to make the internet work when when it's not working right. It's kind of starting to look like a flower. It'll probably really look like one with all the back stitching. This one's got back stitching in all sorts of different colors, so oh, you guys do have to see my awesome water bottle though. It's my favorite water bottle. It says, "Oh, for duck's sake, drink your effing water." So the real question, do you stay up until I finish this night, or do I save the backstitching for tomorrow? Well, after I'm done with this color on stream, I'm going to finish the two colors. I have the three colors I have left in the dogs, and then I'm going to go to bed because I can do the backstitching tomorrow. No, Naka, you can't have my water bottle. It's my water bottle. It's got ducks. We finished up the last of the gray, and then all you have left are the reds. Yeah. I find it really interesting with the dogs through time that how different the reds look on this dog as opposed to the dog that we did, the Elizabethan dog. I mean, it's the same reds, but they look so different. I think it's because the reds were on the brown dog now and the gray dog before. I also think it's because they used more of the really dark red on the other dog and less woman knows her colors for the shirt. Yeah, that's for sure. I would love to make my own cross stitch patterns, but I think my problem would be the color palette stuff because I understand how to mix these colors in paint and what to do to make it look good in paint, but I'm not 100% sure how to do it in thread. What if you painted something and then turned it into a cross stitch? Maybe. We definitely have to use the software. to convert colors. Most of what gets to you is the process of pixelating. It screws with my brain. Yeah, that's kind of where I am too. I wouldn't mind creating my own patterns. There's so many other neat patterns to stitch. But if I created my own cross stitch patterns, I could sell my completed cross stitches. Where a lot of the cross stitch patterns that I do, the artists have asked specifically that you don't sell the finished work. Someday you want to finish Final Fantasy cosplay, but it's gonna take about 8 years. Yeah, I've got so many things that I'd love to do. Just I don't have the time or the patience sometimes to do things. And now that I have a little one of my own, that takes up most of my time and my patience. Right. Looking at about 300 hours of hand embroidery going into this because I have no machine that will do it. Yeah, embroidery machines are kind of expensive. It's I just have a regular sewing machine and a serger, so. And my hand embroidery, like not cross stitch embroidery, but my other types of embroidery, I'm terrible at it. I can do black work. I just get bored with black work because of the single color. The one you want is like 5K. Yeah, I know people who have expensive embroidery machines, and they absolutely love them for what they do with them. But it's like, yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't afford that. Yeah, I'm lucky that I have two decent machines. I gotta get through these flowers so I can go back into the ruffle bud. Yeah, not embroidery machines aren't cheap because a lot of them have the onboard computer stuff now. Yep, this one all I have to do is be around to switch spools of thread. Yep, I know people who have machines like that, and I'm just like, I couldn't afford it. Okay, one, two, three. Okay. Just seeing where I'm going with this color. On to the reds. All right, go elf, go. So far, I think my favorite month, my favorite release of Stitch has been the Elizabethan dogs. I know I'm kind of partial to that time period, but I really enjoyed how they came together. It's nice that this one's been kind of quick, though, so far. And then we get to ponder for a whole month to figure out what the next release is going to be. And meanwhile, Naka and I have to realize, what animal are we going to do next? Monkey or elephant is what I'm going for. We need a monkey or an elephant. Right. That's all of that color there. So we're going to cut the floss and pick it up in another spot. In my effort to keep my back. You're hoping for a monkey? I would be happy with a monkey or an elephant. Either one I'd be happy with for the jungle release. Okay, so... Alright, where's my landmark? There's my landmark. I also get to find out what the next mermaid stitch is at the beginning of the month too. Would like to get that one started at some point, but we'll see. I'm trying to get the fish done before I start another stitch. Though knowing you all probably convince me, oh, you can start it anyway. You don't need to wait till you finish the fish. Start the mermaids anyway. You guys are the worst enablers ever. It's 2 stitches. My bad. Easy fix. What do you mean the best enablers? Oh, I mean the worst, the fact that I'll end up with like 20 projects started because you guys will go, oh yeah, you can totally start that. And I'll be like, but what about the other 5 projects I have to do? Keeping my works in progress at 7. I'm not going to let it get above 7. Yeah, I wish I had money for all the projects too. Between the fabric and the floss, it starts to add up. And if you're using specialty flosses, and I'm sure you won't. Keep it below 7? 7 projects or less in progress? I think I can keep it at 7 or less. Watch me, Naka. I will keep it below 7. PCH. I only think I can mine is Pacific Coast Highway, and that's probably not what that is. Man, with 10K, I'd use that to pay rent for every Publishers Clearinghouse. Got it. Yeah, PCH for me was Pacific Coast Highway. I'm like, I know that's not correct. Where? There it is. Staring the symbol in the face, and I can't find it. There we go. That one little section. I guess these are roses. They're starting to look a little like roses now with the way the colors are layering in. I will have to look at the cover of the chart to see for sure. It's hard to tell in the black and white chart what they are. This floss is just wanting to knot, and could you not? Alright. There we go. Even if I'm not going to start another project, I am going to have like 3 more in my head of when I'm going to start them, though. Those flowers are looking a lot brighter than on the. I love how those projects are looking a lot brighter than on the picture. Yeah, I mean the picture that I'm using as the sample of what it's going to look like is just a photograph from. I know it's a scan from the cover of the pattern, and it looks super muted on the cover of the pattern. So I am liking that the colors are popping a lot more than the sample is showing. $1,000 a week for life would be amazing. I wouldn't have to work ever again. Just invest. Okay. So otherwise you'd run out of things to spend it on before you ran out of money. It would take a couple years, but you know. Yeah, I mean, all the embroidery floss, all the fabric. Just think of it. We could have all the things. There we go. Putting a few kids through college. Oh, yeah, definitely. Set up a college fund. And all the time in the world to make the things instead of working. Yeah. Just be live on Twitch 24 hours a day. Well, not, almost. All right. And that's that part. I've got a little bit more of this color before I call it a night. There we go. And then, yeah, everything else in this color requires more counting than I want to do because it's going to come down lower some more flowers over here. But we're going to do the pink on this part of the saddle, though. I would have to have multi-streams with people. Yeah, we'll just have multi-streams and talk and have a live stitch and bitch. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So after this color, I am going to be ending the stream as I've been going almost 3 hours here. As long as things seem to be going pretty good, I will stream tomorrow night. If I do cancel the stream, I will let people know through Twitch or whatever your preferred method of following me is. And so after tomorrow, I will be on a stream hiatus while we move and then have a quick camping vacation. Two, three, four, five, 6, 7. All right. So through Sarah's Discord, because that's always open. Yeah, well, I mean, if you follow me on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, sometimes I post stuff on Instagram about when I'm streaming. I tend to forget to do Instagram though, because I usually just like, oh, here's the work that I did. And then I will be moving, and then I will be on vacation. A very much needed vacation. Kaya needs a vacation so bad. But after the stream hiatus is over, I will be setting up my loyalty points and getting some of that stuff going. So I will probably turn on my points before I turn on my store, because I still have to figure out a couple more things with the store and then get that going. And hopefully by the time my stream hiatus is over, my emote will be approved, and then we can all see how cute he is. And other than that, I can't think of anything else that is important. I will be here as long as nothing changes at the same time, so 6:30 Pacific. Alright, there we go, finishing up that last little bit of the pink, and that will be my stopping spot tonight. I got quite a bit done tonight. There we go. Alright, so there we are. That's what we got done tonight. Got these flowers done tonight with a little bit of that dark green, and got some of the pink in down here. So yeah, I got that done, and yeah, so that's where we're at. Let's see, is there who's live? Easier to check on the phone sometimes. We'll see if there's anyone to raid. Looks like Fishhead's still working on her design, so we'll probably I'm probably gonna raid Fishhead. But I want to thank everyone for joining me. It's been fun. I think the progress is looking really good. The colors are looking so much better than the sample, so I think it's really going to be even more colorful than the sample is showing. So, yay! I want to thank everyone for joining me, and thank you for the bits. Thank you for my new subscriber. Thank you for hosts. I appreciate all of it. I appreciate you being here, and it's always a lot of fun. So I will see you guys around, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow night. Everyone have a great evening, and we're going to be raiding Fishhead, so I'm going to head over there and give her some love. I think she's still working on the Eevee evolutions. Alright.
Teach me